Okay, so what we're going to start with tonight is the list that RI provides that tells us the things the secretary should be able to do. So I'm going to share my screen. See if I can find that list. Can you see the list?
Yes.
Okay. All right. As being a club secretary, you help your club run smooth and effectively. You probably have more jobs and more responsibility than actually anybody in the club. You keep the minutes, you update your club membership data. And that is really important because your club invoice is based on the number of members that are in Rotary's database as of July 1. And then that second billing is as of January 1. So very important to keep that correct and to keep your officers updated. I can tell you some real horror stories of not updating your officers. I'm working with one now where it's been years since they put their officers in, and therefore no one can get in and fix their officers. So they're really at the mercy of getting with RI, and that's a long, tedious process. So try not to do that. Keep your officers up to date. Keep your club meeting place up to date too, please, and time and address and how to get a hold of you. And then it says how to prepare. The Learning Center, I'm going to send this document out at the end of this session. And you see here that this is a clickable Learning Center word. And it will take you to RI's Learning Center where you could view instruction on different things, all kinds of different things. So attend the district training assembly. That's what you're doing right now, and work with the outgoing secretary. That outgoing secretary is a wealth of knowledge. Hopefully that person is still available to you. It provides some resource and references. Be a vibrant club and your club leadership plan. So these are good documents to help you lead your club to be a more vibrant club, which will entice members and just make it more fun. So here's the standard Rotary Club Constitution. Very important. Your club constitution is written by RI, and you adopt that when it changes. It changed not too long ago. And then there's a recommended Rotary Club bylaws. Most of you do have bylaws. It's real important for you guys to keep up with your bylaws. I get emails all the time that say, do you have a copy of our bylaws? No, I do not keep your bylaws. So you are responsible for keeping your bylaws. Most of the time people modify the recommended Rotary Club bylaws, but if it's been years and years and years since you've done this, it would be good to start with Rotary's bylaws and then you can modify it. For instance, you may have different directors, you may have all kinds of different things. Okay, the tools are pay or view your club invoice and update your membership data. So at times you will need to check that RI has the same membership numbers and same members that you do, because it doesn't matter what you've put in your system. If it doesn't match RI, you get billed off of RI. So that's real important. One of the other things that we ask that you help with is in Rotary Club Central, there's goals for your club. And the goals need to be established by your board, but you can come in here and help them update them if the president isn't doing that himself. So you'll sign in. It's fairly easy. We'll go over it a little bit in a while and talk about some of the goals. There is discussion groups for the secretaries. And then as you support Rotary, when you're an outgoing secretary, we ask that you please pass on your knowledge so that the next person is not as lost as maybe some of you were. So please do that. And financial representative, I'm not sure. I don't remember what that is right now. So anyway, but I will tell you that does bring up a subject of insurance. On the district website, there is a place to go find and print your insurance that you pay for. Every member helps pay for this through dues. And if you are having an event, say at a, I don't know, a restaurant or a hotel, they may ask for your insurance. If they do, you come and print this one. It's pretty comprehensive insurance for your events. And so it's good insurance. However, it, like all other insurance, doesn't cover COVID, doesn't cover you if you have an alcohol related problem. I think that's the two main things that I should bring up. So those are the two things. That's one of the reasons that most of us as clubs don't actually provide the alcohol. We make people buy their alcohol so that then we're not responsible for their alcohol. So that's just a brief overview. I will send that document to you at the end of this session.
Jeanette,
Yes.
I believe it also doesn't cover events that have not been formally approved by the club board.
That is correct. And all that means is it needs to be in the minutes. So if you're having a get together or anything, make sure that it's in the minutes. That's a good reason to have comprehensive minutes stating every time you guys get together, even for a social. Those should be in there because then you're insured. Okay, I think next I'm going to jump into I'm going to stop sharing and share a different screen because now I want to get into what word? I don't see it. Hang on, I guess I didn't have it open. Let me open it. Okay, now I see where it is. Okay, so here it is. So let's talk about the district website for just a minute. I think most of you know that Club Runner is available to you as a club and you pay a separate fee for it. If you're using the district's Club Runner, you do not pay a separate fee, you use ours. But if you've paid for it yourself, you may be hosting your own website with it, doing events, posting a calendar, all those good things. If you are doing that, it feeds the district website and the district website feeds RI with data. The data that feeds up is the membership information, whether you delete, add, change a member, and the officers of the clubs feed up, and your meeting information does not feed up. So please change it with RI if you change it. And we ask, that's really important because one thing that happens is when people travel, they will pull up your information because it's available to them. It's available to them on RI, and they will see that your meeting place is at the wrong place and go to the wrong location for your meeting. So please do that. Also, when we send out our district governor to do his visits, we depend on that information. Okay, so this is the home page of the website. On the left side, you see upcoming events. This is a feed here in the middle of the posts that the District 5520 Facebook has made. So you can scroll down and see posts virtually forever. It'll just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling to see our posts. And that is the way right now we are sharing information about your clubs. So if you're sending me or Public Image or Rotary Materials information, this is the platform we're using to get your data out. And we hope to get our newsletter up and running again at some time, but right now it is non-existent. So the upcoming events on the left side, you can always come here as you did to sign up for this training, and you'll see the trainings that are coming up, and you'll see boys camp and girls camp for Ryla. So any important events we have coming, pets will be on here, those kind of things that you'll need to know the date. So you'll want to come here and see that. Here are our district assemblies recordings. I'm going to take the word fall off, but these are our district assemblies, and you can come in here. You'll be able to come in here and see a recording of this session and the other sessions that we do. Here's the newsletter links. However, as you can see, one hasn't gone out since January. Here are the polio commitment forms. This is a good little map of what, when we say district, that part in blue is what it is. So it's New Mexico and that part of Texas. So kind of neat information to know so that you understand when we say district, we're including El Paso, Alpine, Marfa, all those places. So in the center, this is real important for your presidents. This is where and how to get a hold of people who run the president's councils in your areas. So there's a president's council for each area. You can see who you can get a hold of to find out. You can find out when it is on this, but to find out the sign on or whatever. I believe all of them are Zoom right now. And it's really a great tool to go for your president, and you're welcome to go anytime too. Find out what's going on with the other clubs in your area. This is how you share what you're doing. You might be doing a service project where you're packing food or something and you need other people to come and help. This is a good place to go and ask for help on things. We are having a golf tournament next week, or actually this Saturday, and we just ask for clubs to come, and they put together a team for us and joined us in our golf tournament. And that's what we're all trying to do, is get people to do that. I am going to very soon put right about in this area, I'm going to put the projects that are global projects so that you can come here and see global projects you would like to participate in. This is new. We're going to roll that out pretty soon. Sunny, would you take a second and call this person for me? Hello? Yes. Okay. Ginger Riverbrook, is that your name? Metro. Okay. Sunny, can you send her the link? She signed up real late. Thank you. Okay, so below that is a bio on our district governor. Some people put this in their what am I trying to say? Books that they are their club directories. So on the left-hand side, this is another really great tool. There's an org chart. So let's say your club is having a problem and maybe you want to know who to contact about a grant or who to contact because you need membership help. These org charts are the people in the district who can help you, and I have found them all to be very helpful. And all you have to do is click on their name, and at the bottom left right hand corner, you see there's a little email thing. If I click on that, it will email Bob Roche, and I can ask him a financial question like, how do you fill out your 990, or where do you go to do that, or that kind of thing about financials. So there's lots of good information and lots of good people who can help you with this information. This is a PDG directory. PDG stands for past district governors. So the people who have served our district as district governor, their contact information is there. And here's some Rotary links. Here's something you'll be asking for. My email address is here. And Debbie Lamont, who is the bookkeeper for the district, her email address and address of where to send your check for district dues is right here. Here's the public image email and the newsletter email. So any of these, we monitor all of these. So send your information to any of these, and we do share it if you hit the wrong one. So don't worry about that. And then at the bottom for your members, if they have forgotten their password or don't know their information of how to get on, this is how to do that. Instructions on how to do that. Okay, I'm going to move on because that's, we have lots of other things to cover. Does anybody have any questions?
I just now got my, was able to hear you, so I did miss some of it.
Okay.
So, but Marcel's there, so we'll be all right.
Okay, great. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, I can't find Ginger in the officers for Albuquerque Metro.
For next
Is-
year?
Oh, for next year. I didn't check that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so you will, at the top of this, you will see that there are places to go to put things in. I sign in, and if you go to member area, you're going to have a membership tab, and you will be able to go in there and see your membership and change your membership. But what I want to do with that is most of you on this, Carlsbad, a lot of you have your own web page that's a Club Runner Pet web page. I always know which clubs have a Club Runner Pet web page because see this right here? This club supplies. That's a good way to know. I think at the bottom of it also says something about, yeah, powered by Club Runner. So I want to go over a little bit about what it looks like if you have your own. This is our website for Del Norte. This is what it looks like. We have on here our upcoming events, just like the district has theirs. This is our Facebook feed. So you can put all your Facebook feed in there. It's just a one-click thing. You don't have to ever update it. It updates itself. Here are our officers. Here are our bulletins. And on the right-hand side, we have our information of where you can come to meet with us, which is handy. And then we sell advertising, and that's partially how we pay for Club Runner. So those are the advertisements. And by the way, they're randomly ordered so that nobody gets at the front every single time. So when I come here and I sign in, I'll go to member area. And if I go over here to membership and member list, it will bring up my members. Here are my members. So I always pick on Ken. We'll just go into Ken so I can click on him. It's really handy if you do pictures, because if you do pictures and your members will download an app called Club Runner, they will have access to your member data at all times. And that is so, so handy for a lot of us because it has their phone number, their address. You just click on their phone number, it calls them from your mobile. You click on your address, it pops into your map and will take you to their house. So those are really handy tools to talk about. And if you are not familiar with them, ask me in a little bit and we'll go over more of it. But right here, I'm in the actual Ken's actual information. See the edit at the top? I can edit his information. And this information is what will send most of it to RI. There was a selection when your website first got, or when your Club Runner first got set up, and it asked what you were willing to share. Some people share date of birth, some people don't. All that information will automatically go. Interesting thing about this guy, he's 85 years old and has 55 years of perfect attendance. So it also, look at these other tabs though, because this may be the answer to, oh, and you either have to cancel or save after you edit. And I'm going to cancel because I don't want to make changes to him. But after you do that, there's other tabs. Rotary has a tab, and this is where you put the sponsor. This is where you find their Rotary member number. This is when they joined Rotary, and this is the date they joined your club. So I will say this is very important to stay current on putting your members in, because you cannot backdate a member more than 30 days. So if he joined your club in March and you're just now putting him in, sorry, he's going to be a May insert. So it will fight you and you will have to, it will just keep telling you invalid date. And that's because RI doesn't accept backwards information from members. So biography would have any of the stuff you might put on them. Comments, we don't have anything, but settings is real important. Whoops. Come on. Settings is where you have his club access level. So he's a member level. If you are the secretary and you're the one who maintains this website, you probably have a higher setting than that. Here is his username. And you cannot see his password, but you can reset his password. So a lot of times they will call me and say, I don't know. Many of them don't, you know, they joined 10 years ago. They have never been here to sign on. So you copy this, you send them their username, and then their password, you can reset it and make it be something simple like Rotary. And then they can go in and reset it themselves to something else. However, don't get real hung up on passwords in Rotary for this, because it would be highly unlikely that somebody would want to steal someone else's information. That's just not that important. So, and then privacy. This is where you can come in and if they tell you they do not want to see club emails or something like that, or club bulletins, you could come in and do that and see how you can do club and district. Please don't disable them from district emails, and for sure don't disable yourself. This is how we communicate with you, so we need to have that information. So that's kind of the membership stuff. I do want to talk for a minute about organization and executive and directors. If you have not fill this out for next year, please do so immediately. We need this information so bad. I suspect all of you have, or you wouldn't probably know about this. But if you look at the top, it shows you 22, 23. Do you see how you can click next year and previous year? This is so handy because if I go back 5 years, I can tell you who was president. I can tell you who was, let's say membership quits and we're looking for somebody who might serve as membership and know something about it. You can go back and see who your officers were. It's also important because in our bylaws, you can't be president unless you served on the board. So we might need to look that up about some people. So because it's 22, 23, I'm going to click next year and you'll see that next year's officers are filled in. But that's what I'm asking you to do is go into your website, click next year and fill out 23, 24 as complete as possible. RI and myself, we try to not do mass emails. We try to not bombard people with information they don't need. So if we're doing something financial, we're going to send it to the president and to the treasurer only. So be sure that all of these are filled out, but I have lots of directors in my club. You probably don't have this many. So, but we do need president, president-elect. We need immediate past president, treasurer, and a secretary. Those are the real important, and a foundation person. Because if we don't have those, we're at a loss for grants and everything else. So please fill those out. Under organization, this thing is so powerful. It does so many things. You can do meeting responsibilities and have a greeter and have all that, and it'll send out emails as you do it and all that stuff. It will do dues and billing. I don't use it. I use QuickBooks, but it will do that. There's a documents location. This is probably where your strategic plan and your constitution and your bylaws ought to live. So that way they don't get lost. If you do have your own club runner, you can put your attendance in here. For those of you who are still putting attendance in, to tell you RI does not look at your attendance. However, I fully believe, and RI fully believes, that you should take attendance, because if people know you're watching, whether you're at the meetings or not, they're more likely to come. So I always take attendance. This is how to go in and make changes to your website. Some of you are the people who do your website. Others have someone in your club who manages the website. So that's a whole nother training. But we might do that one sometime because we haven't done it. And then we have reports, and we have years of service, the age distribution, the gender distribution. These are important facts, because when you sit around a table and you're talking about membership, if you're 80% male, your opportunity is to bring women into Rotary. Or if your age distribution isn't good, and I don't think many of us have a really great age distribution, but it just shows you what you need to concentrate. Birthdays and anniversaries, we keep that because we fine for birthdays. So if you do that, that's a good way to do that. Okay, there's also a bulletin. Lost my cursor. We do our bulletins using this product. And the reason we do that is because if you have one database and everything comes out through here, then you're not going, oh, well, John changed his email address and it's not right in the other database that we keep for sending out bulletins or newsletters or whatever. And then communication, we keep another database, and I keep one database. Everything comes through my database. So creating a bulletin is not hard. It's easiest if you have a template, and I have a template set up. And so I can train people in my club to help with this, and they can lay out the bulletin. And then when it sends, it goes to everyone. Oh, and you can add friends and send to some people, like maybe you send it to the mayor, or maybe you send it to somebody who's thinking about joining, or that kind of thing. So it's a neat tool. Let's see what else you might want to know. This is new, membership success. This is brand new for Club Runner. I'm anxious to show it to our membership director, because it tracks prospects and accepted applicants, and you can see how many of them you're turning into members, and you can email just those people, and you can keep better track of them. So a club our size, we might use it. A little bitty club, you probably won't use it. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. Some of you come into this admin page, and I'm going to show it to you because it'll look familiar to you. And it'll come up any minute. Come on. There it is. Okay, so you can go into places using this and not have to go into it the way I went into it. There's many ways to get to all of this. You know, here's communication, here's events, here's attendance. All of that stuff is in there. Here's that organization where you can put your executives and directors, or your committees, or your documents, etc. One other thing I almost forgot: communication. This is how I communicate with you all. This is how I communicate within the club. It's communication, email services. And you can compose a new message. And I'm going to do it to show you. You have to put a subject line in. And then you get to pick who you want to send it to, which is really handy because you can put custom distribution. See, I have my board here. I have the community service, foundation board, fundraising committee, membership committee. So I can communicate with all of those people without having to send it to everyone in the club. And I also want to talk a little bit about active. You know how there's an active status for members? There's now other active statuses. One of them is satellite. And I think a lot of you have satellite clubs. So I would send it to active and satellite, and maybe honorary, but maybe not honorary, just depending on what it is. But to send it to everyone, don't forget that there's different versions of active if you have set up different versions of active. You can then come in and you can click here and you can paste things. And the only little tricky part of this is, see this Control Command V? Control Function V will put in whatever I had copied. I don't have anything copied right now, so it didn't do that. But I can go into Word or go into an email and copy. If somebody says, hey, would you tell everybody we're going to have a golf tournament and here's all the details, and they write it all up for you, you can copy it, come in here and paste it, and then just send it out. You can also create links so that you're linking to other web pages off of documents. You can bring in images. So it's quite handy and comprehensive. And because I know all of my database is up to date and all of my members have their current address, then I can go into my manage emails, which is where I was when I first came in. And these are scheduled. Oh, that's another thing I do. I have these scheduled for next week. But here's an email I sent, and look at this. I can go in and look at the stats. And I can say, well, that's not good because I only sent it to one person. Let me go back. I can go into this one. We had a proposed member, and I can look at the stats on this. And I can see that 78% of my members opened this email. 100% was successfully delivered to. So those are great. You at the end of this report, here's what's really handy. You're not going to be able to see it on mine because everybody is current. But if you had somebody who had blocked your emails, you would be able to see that. And that's real important, because then you know you're not communicating with them. And that's first indication that you could lose a member. So all important. Let's jump back to the district website. And let me see if I can see I keep getting my people in the way of what I'm trying to look at here. Okay, so I'm back on the district website. So if you don't have a club runner account, then you will come in to probably admin, and admin new is the way this will come up. And you will have this screen, and you can go into mine's going to look real different than yours because I'm the district secretary. So I have access to all clubs and membership. You're only going to have access to your club. Here's define your executives. And so those are the two places I mainly want you to come in and be able to do that. Then we should have I was looking for organization. Here we go. Well, yours is going to have a place where you can go in and change your club location and your time of meeting. And I would like for you to change those when you change so that we know where you are. So those are good to know. You'll just be doing it from a screen that looks very different than the other one. But it's
don't have to do that on the RI website. We can just do it here.
You can do it here, and it will feed the RI website if you have it set to feed. What club are you?
Silver City.
Silver City does. I'm sorry, I didn't know that was you.
Great. Thank you.
So then it just automatically feeds your information in. So if I go in here and I'm going to clubs and members, you won't see this because I see every club, you don't. But if I'm in members, which is what you will look like when you come in, this is what you're going to look like. You're going to see your members listed here. Transfer a new member. This has gotten so sophisticated, it's great. So if you have a member coming back that had left and come back, you're transferring them back in. If you have a member that is coming from Silver City and moving to Las Cruces, this is what you would use in Las Cruces to bring that member in. And it will search for that member. If you have their Rotary ID, that's great. Lots of times you won't. So if they're using the same email that they used, that's great. Lots of times they won't, because they will have changed jobs and be using a different one. If you just put their first name and last name and the United States and do a search, you will find them and be able to just bring them into your system. And then you'll probably need to change their address and other information. But this is so handy because it transfers members and keeps them with the same member number to Rotary. And that's important because it transfers their Paul Harris fellow points and all of that with them. And they will want that. So that's how you do that. That's how you accomplish that.
Danette, quick question, please, ma'am.
Yes.
Where can we see if our club is set to have its information transferred to international from this site?
You can't, I can. So
I
you
see.
can email me But I can tell you, see how all these clubs who have a green mark, I know
Yes.
they're set to transfer information.
Okay,
So Rotaract doesn't. So you see a few clubs don't, but for the most part, they do. For example, Los Lunas doesn't want to. They manage it with a different website than Club Runner, and so they want it in, they don't want their information transferred. So some of them legitimately, like Roswell, they use DACDB, so they don't want it transferred. So they do it all three places. It's just handier if you don't do that. But one thing that we talk about a lot is, why in the world did we get our membership is all messed up? So somehow it wasn't transferring or something happened. There's an RI member synchronization report, and you can run this, and I can run this on your club, but you can run it also. So let's see. So probably Silver City's not a very good one to run because they have everybody probably perfect, but I'll run it anyway. You can see if your executives are synchronized, but right now I'm doing the member synchronization. So you'll see members in sync. Here's all the members that are the same in Club Runner as they are at RI. And let's see if they have everybody in sync, just as I knew they would. We're having a real problem in Northeast. Let me go to Northeast. This is a club that didn't, they lost their secretary, and it's not the new secretary's fault, but they didn't have it set up. And so they have just lots and lots of errors that we're working on. So here's the people they have in sync, but then you see a new title and here's the mismatches. So here you see that Club Runner thinks it's an ex-member and RI thinks it's a member. So you know that you're going to have to go in to whichever one is wrong and get it set right and resynchronize it to get it corrected. Then down here, you'll see members that are missing in RI. Maybe they haven't been right for 3 years. That's why this is so messed up. But you can click on this little button and add your member to RI if it wasn't added. And then here's member missing in Club Runner. So this wasn't in RI, but not in Club Runner. So it's really comprehensive and really sophisticated and can help you fix your problems. I can also help you fix your problems because this is a little bit complex, and I'll be glad to help you do this if you get in this bind. So here's the grants module. If you are working with a grant, you had to have 2 people go to training. Here's the place. If your members don't know where they go to put in a grant, here's where they submit a grant. And here you do my club grants, and I can see if I have any grants. 23-24 is probably not going to have any grants yet because they haven't awarded any yet. So, but if I go previous year, I can see that I did have a grant, and we have it open right now, but it will close soon. So it's a backpack program, but this is where they go. They were trained on how to do this. They got a document of how to do it, but I just wanted to show it to you so you know. A lot of this will be grayed out because you will not have the authority for some of this. Like at communication, you can't email everybody in the district, so you won't be able to do that. You can only email off of your Club Runner for your club. Website, of course, you won't use. These are the documents that are in the document session, and we have some documents in here if somebody wants to know where the Polio Plus form, although I did put that on the front page. There are reports you can run for the district that give you the same information, that give me information about age and years of service, et cetera. I can look at attendance. You could track your attendance from here if you don't have a club runner count. Events, this is where I put the events in. You won't have access to that. You'll only have access to that if you have your own club runner account. By the way, club runner's not hugely expensive. And for small clubs, it's based on the number of members. So it's not real expensive for clubs. But see how I have set up my events. If you want to do that, it's really nice because just like you signed up for this event, I can bring up this event and it works the same in your club. I can put into a spreadsheet the attendee list. I can come down here and I can send an invitation to everybody, or I can do a new email, which is what I did to send out your link. And it'll just jump into that communication module. And one of the choices is attendees. So you can tell them, hey, this is going to be at the pool at so-and-so's house. Be sure you bring a towel, be sure you bring a dessert, whatever it is. So those are really, really handy tools to use. So that's kind of Club Runner. So I want to jump over into Rotary. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. And I will tell you, I'm not much help on how to get on to this website because I can control the district website, but I cannot control RI. So if you lose your user ID and password, you'll have to go to Rotary directly. So right here is I'm already, oh, nice, access denied. That's weird. I guess I'm in something that I don't have access to. Okay, when you come in and you sign in, if you go to the manage section and you just hover over manage, you'll see club and district administration. You'll mostly be going into club administration, reports for your Paul Harris reports, and whoops, see, I slid, and Rotary Club Central. So I'm going to go into club administration and just show you that that is where you go. Sign on. I click so fast, I hope it's not under maintenance right now. No, the 20th. Okay, we're good. So under here, you'll be able to go into, doesn't look like this is my Rotary. Okay, here is my snapshot of where I meet and all of that good stuff. I don't know why it's not letting me change it. I'm not sure exactly where I am. Sorry. Okay, so let's talk about going into Club Central. Because Club Central, after you're in Rotary.org, you're signed in. And by the way, it's not the same sign in as Club Runner. Club Runner is something goofy like Donette Wagner 8234. This is probably your email address as your user ID. And then you would have a password. If you don't, you'll have to go through and say, I don't have a password, and they'll send you a password to that email. Now, the problem with Rotary International is if your email has changed and you don't have access to that, you're going to have to call them to get them to change your information. So it brings up a nice dashboard that just shows you all kinds of information about your club. And then, but what we want to talk about is Goal Center. And we need you to help the presidents if they don't know how. They were trained at President-elect training, but they may not know everything about this, how to put their goals in. We definitely need, here's a foundation giving, and here's my goal. So I can go in and edit my goal. And the goal was 10,000, and I could change it to something else. And I'm going to do that, I think, so that I don't even know if it'll let me change just a little bit. So that you can see that I've changed it, and here's what happens to the presidents. They come in here and they've changed it. And now they go, okay, now I want to go look at another goal. No, if you don't press save right here, you haven't changed anything. So it's not real intuitive, because for the most part, save is usually at the bottom right corner. I mean, in most websites, save is the top left in this website. So be sure they're saving. If they tell you they filled out all their goals and they're not there, that's probably what happened to them. They didn't push save. And be very conscientious of what year you're in. So here I am in next year, and my president hasn't put in any of his goals. So this is what it looks like. So there's membership goals, there's foundation goals, there's service goals, public image goals. And if I look back, we had all those for last year. Here's a public image. So we did a strategic plan, we did it online, we did a social assessment, social activities. So all of this is great to put your goals in order to get a club citation, which is kind of an award that RI gives. You must help me, Sonny, put in how many goals this year?
13. It's basically 50% of the 25 that are available. Do 13 goals of your choosing, make them all happen, and you'll earn the citation.
I'm going to go back
And don't forget, you can always amend them all the way up to the last minute.
Yes. And that's good, because like we had our first meeting and the president was totally gung-ho, and he said, I'm going to bring in 36 new members. And we said, do you understand how hard that is to do? First of all, the Rotary average for losing members is about 10% per year. So in order to bring in 36 new members, that means you've got to do 36 plus 10% of your membership. For us, that's a whole lot of members. So anyway, you want your presidents to do something reasonable, but if they don't in the beginning and then they're rocking along and they go, oh, 36 was ridiculous, you can go back and change this to hopefully 5 new members or something like that. So I am going to click on my Rotary again and see if it presents differently. Nope. Okay. They are constantly changing this website, so that didn't help me. I'm not sure where my stuff is. But anyway, those are the main things I wanted to show you on that. And then I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about, let me get back out of this, go into Club Central, or however you want to get in. It's rotary.org basically. And there is a brand center here. If you're doing flyers for your clubs, please come in here and go to brand center, and it will help you do your logo or a flyer or anything else you want to do. So come in here and play around, and you will see all kinds of things. You can do a flyer for your club and it helps you through that. But we want your Rotary logo to have the word Rotary in front of this wheel. That is the new brand compliance. And when I say new, it's about 10 years old. but we are really trying to get everybody to have the right logo on their stuff. So here are the templates. Here's create a logo, Rotary Club logo. It's so simple. You come in and you do create, and it'll ask you to put it's thinking.
Now, Ned, I believe that Arturo and Eric have logos created for every club in the district. So you can talk to them and get them to send you exactly what you need.
They do. I know we don't use the exact name that we are officially aligned with. So if you use something different, it will
You'll
you can
need to
come in here.
create one,
Yeah, you can come in here and create one, but it's real simple. All you do is go over here and type your information. It'll bring it over here, and then you save it, and then it asks you, what form you want it in? Do you want it in JPEG, PDF, PNG, all those forms? So it's great for creating your logo on a flyer if you do that. So,
And one thing most people don't realize is that Rotary by itself means it comes from Rotary International. So you definitely want your club name with it.
yes. Okay, I wanted to leave some time at the end so that you all could ask questions. So just jump in and ask questions, and I will try to answer them.
And that Virginia has a question.
Okay, go ahead. Virginia, you're on mute. You're still on mute.
There.
There we go.
You said there was a gentleman that had done all of the logos for all the clubs in the district.
Correct.
Yes.
His name is Eric Collins. And if you go to the org chart on the Rotary 5520.org, on the left-hand side in the org chart, you'll see that he's the public image chair for the district, and you can email him from there.
Thank you.
Sunny, if you have time, would you put his email in the chat too?
I'd be happy to.
Anybody else have a question? And he's a great resource, you guys. He's really willing to do a lot of stuff. He's very busy, but he would help you with a flyer or whatever you need. He has a printing company and does all this all day, every day. I will, since it's quiet, I will take a second to tell you that in order to qualify for a grant, you have to donate to Rotary International. Your members have to donate, and I think you have to have $100 per capita. We do that. Is that right?
Actually, that's not required. It just boosts how much you're able to get.
Okay. But you do have to send 2 people to training.
Yes.
And so the training's already happened to apply for a grant, and it's due. If your club is doing a grant, would you please pass on to them that June the 15th is the deadline to have this year's grant in? And there is a report available. If you'll email me, I will do more to teach you how to do that, and you can kind of see what your club is qualified to get. Can be any amount. There's a report like that, and it's based on your giving.
A question, Danette.
Yeah.
I think we missed the training this year for grants, but is there a possibility of partnering with another club that has done the grant training to do a grant, or is that not?
That's certainly possible. You can do that. You can also beg to Linda and she will get your AG to give two of you training if you'd like to do your own grant. I don't think it's too late to do that if you need to do it, but your AG would have to sit with you while you're doing your training is the requirement.
And the previous statement about having to donate to or having to give to Rotary International $100 per capita, and then I think that was Sonny who said, no, that's not required, but it helps the process. But there's a limit that you can apply for a grant that's based on your contribution to what?
Well,
Rotary.
can I answer this one, Donette?
Mhm.
Basically, how much you're eligible to receive as a district grant is determined by your giving to the annual fund of Rotary International 3 years ago, 25% of that, plus if you gave $100 per capita to the annual fund this year, you have an incentive bonus. And the reason they put that in is because people were getting grants who hadn't given anything to the foundation and it didn't seem fair. So the combination of those two numbers is what you will find if you look at the chart Donette was referring you to. It's 3 years ago, some percentage of what you gave 3 years ago, plus a bonus if you gave $100 per capita this year to the annual fund. So it doesn't count global grant funds and it doesn't count polio. It's really just the annual fund.
And
Does
he-
that make sense?
Information is under the grants on the district website.
Actually, if you go to the district website and look under the foundation, under the blue banner on the foundation homepage, you will see all the information.
Thank you.
And
My
it has
pleasure.
the rules of getting a grant and the whole thing, but they are due for this year by June 15th.
Right. And even if you don't partner on a district grant, you can always partner on a global grant, and those are fun as well.
Are there any other questions? I hope this was helpful.
Can we
I
see
have either
Maud's?
overwhelmed you or or you got something out of it, and hopefully you will be able to do your membership and your officers soon. And that's great. That's what we need you to do for us. And I do want to tell you this. I am available. I usually return emails within about 24 hours. And my email address you already have because I send you something almost every week. But if you have questions, please ask them, because there's no question that's wrong. There's no question that I go, oh my gosh, I just know usually how new you are to this job. But I am always willing to help you. And I've done lots of Zoom calls with secretaries to try to straighten out their membership individually. So always feel free to ask that if you have problems.
And
So-
I would like to add, if there's anything missing or anything you discover as you go along that we would want to cover next time, please let us know that also.
Mhm.
I'm your district trainer, but as of July 1st, I have a new title. It's called District Learning Facilitator, which is kind of a mouthful, but it's really about figuring out what people need and making sure they get it. So we do want to hear from you. Anything else?
I think that wraps us up. If you all don't have anything else, and I so appreciate you coming tonight, and I'll send you that first document I showed you, and then I'm going to send you a training document that will help you with Club Runner and how to get in and where to go. That will be helpful too, because I know I go pretty fast in this.
Jeanette, this is being recorded so we can access it later.
It will be on the
from-
website. Yes.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.